Let's do it. So a lot of people generally, when they talk about recovery, they specifically focus on just sleeping, doing nothing, or maybe doing something like stretching, walking, or hiking. And while those are all great, really good recovery day options that you can do, I want to show you a couple of drills or exercises that I personally like to do on my recovery days, not only to facilitate the healing process, but also make it a little bit more active and makes me feel like I'm taking ownership of my recovery instead of just passively allowing it to happen. So here are a few exercises that you can start to implement in order to make sure that your recovery days are nice, effective, and help you get stronger for the next training session. So the first exercise is really quite simple, and it's taken from a concept of Qigong, but it is so powerful and so beneficial. So for this one, you're actually gonna have to stand up. This is a technique called the arm swing or a Zen swing in Qigong, where essentially you relax your body, you get your feet in a little bit of a shoulder width position, and then you slowly allow your arms to swing side to side. Very relaxed here, okay? Now, if you notice, I'm shifting my weight from my hips over side to side a little bit, and you can't see my feet, but I am coming up on the balls of my foot and slowly shifting my weight side to side. Now, this is one way to do the Zen swing, a very relaxed way to do it. I actually like to be a little bit more aggressive. So what I like to do is personally, I like to throw my arms up and then throw it down. I'm almost creating an elastic force downwards that's stretching out the fascia and stretching out all the muscles within my arms. So once again, specifically the way I like to personally like to do the Zen swing, I am keeping my arms relaxed. I'm not creating tension. I like to think very soft hands, but I'm being super dramatic, especially on the way downward of the swing, almost as if I'm throwing my weight and my arms downwards. It might not feel like anything now, but you might start to feel over time, if you do this for a long period of time, your elbows start to open up, your wrists start to open up, and you start to feel a lot of blood flow just moving into the extremities of your arm and into the hands. So I don't like to do this for just 30 seconds. I feel like the real benefits of a practice like this comes when you do it for like a minute, even 5 minutes straight. Because towards the end of 5 minutes, you're gonna feel just all the joints just so loose and bouncy, so elastic, and also a rush of blood flow into the extremity. So the Zen swing, especially with that elastic component, is a super beneficial exercise for you to do on your recovery days, especially to get a lot of blood flow there. Now, that is one practice. I also like to do an arm swing with a little bit more of a heart opener. So you'll see some athletes do this as a warm up, where they're just kind of opening up their body. But once again, we can get really aggressive with it, really open up that chest and add a little bit more momentum, keeping those arms relaxed, but also whipping it, creating a lot of elastic tension and opening up that body. A different angle on this one, we're really just focusing on opening the body back and forth. And even here on this one, I'm starting to feel my pec minor start to open up, my chest, my anterior shoulder, areas of your body where you know you're tight. You're gonna start to feel those sensations start to come up. So the second practice that I personally like to do on my recovery days is like, I want to show my feet some love. Think about it, our feet are withstanding the force of us just living life every single step. It's always a good idea to take some time to just take care of the feet, massage them, and then just get them open so they can start to heal as well. We're gonna start off with a little bit of foot yoga. So you're gonna get one foot. Ideally, you wanna cross it around the leg, and you wanna grab onto the ankle. Reason being, this is when we start to initiate the movements within the foot, we wanna make sure it's locally to the ankle and it's not moving tibially throughout the knee joint. So I'm gonna take a hold of my ankle, and then from here, I'm going to start to just open up my foot using my fingers, one finger at a time. Now, if you're super tight in this position, you probably won't be able to get your full hand through the foot. So that's something you definitely want to work your way towards. But as you get a little bit more flexible and your feet start to open up, you really want to get in there as much as possible and kind of grab it. And once you're in this position, I like to pull it this way, pull it the other way, pull it down, and pull it to the side. As I'm grabbing this ankle with this hand, I also like to draw big circles to really open up that ankle, and you'll start to feel your knee a little bit in there as well. But this is a really good practice. And again, I like to go for a lot of volume here, so I'll draw like 30, even 50 circles, just getting a lot of blood flow, opening up that body. Now, that's just one practice, okay? We can get a little bit more detailed with this. So with the foot, I actually like to go one by one. I always like to start off with the big toe, where I really think about pulling that big toe and then moving it side to side this way, almost corkscrewing it, pulling it, and then twisting it side to side. Now the big toe is very resilient, so you can really maneuver your way in here and really try to open up. So big toe is also especially important, especially when it comes to the fascial connections from the foot to the glutes. So the big toe is definitely the joint that you want to make sure it's moving properly and doing what it needs to do. I'm just moving it side to side. And for me, I like to pull 2 toes apart, pull it from one, separate them, and then twist both of them. Just opening up that fascia connection. So now I'm second toe and third toe, pulling them apart, pulling them north and south, pulling them north and south, and then twisting them just to open that up and wake up that body. Then I move on to the ring toe, right? Once again, just getting a lot of movement. And then finally that pinky toe, just pulling it, moving it back and forth, and then twisting it to open up that foot for the foot glove. Now, stretching out the feet is one way to get them nice and open and to start the recovery process, but I also really like to massage them. Once again, the feet can take a lot of force. They literally hold our entire body weight the entire day. So we want to make sure we're putting a little bit of pressure in it, especially to release any fascial adhesions or any knots that might be within the actual structure itself. So this is another practice I like to do. Now, as far as the apparatus goes, there's many things you can use. You can use a tennis ball, you can use a lacrosse ball. I have a peanut here in order to use. We're just gonna put our peanut or whatever massage tool that we're using. We're just gonna row, okay? Now, once again, if you have really sensitive feet, it's probably best for you to start off just sitting down. But as you get better and you're able to withstand a little bit more force, you can start doing this standing up and putting a lot more pressure to one foot. Now, ideally, you just wanna explore, okay? So I like to get that inside edge, maybe that outside edge, maybe a little bit more into that heel, maybe a little bit more into those toes and ball of the foot, maybe deep in that middle arch plantar fascia, and you'll see even like my toes start to move around just because of the pressure that I'm putting into it. So these are definitely tissues that you want to start to stimulate and start to get moving and open up as well. So far, we covered a lot of tools and exercises that you can do to start to implement the recovery process, but I'm going to introduce you to another tool. What I got right here is from my friends at the Tip Bar Guide. We got a floss band, and this is one of my best and one of my favorite tools for recovery. So this is how it works, okay? We're gonna get rid of this band. And let's say today my knees are especially feeling tight. I'm gonna show you how to adjust the knees and just get it open. We're gonna start off at the bottom, okay? And then from here, we're gonna wrap it over. I always like to think wrapping it over at around the halfway mark. So at about 50%, okay? So right here, good. You wanna make sure that joint is open. So once again, wrapping on that halfway line. Right there, you can see the letters. I'm almost cutting across right at the center line. That's kind of the flow that you want to go for as you're introducing this. And as far as the pressure, especially if you're starting out, I wouldn't go too tight. I would say like anywhere from like 50 to 40%. Once you get really accustomed and you kind of understand the sensations, you can go a little bit tighter, and, you know, especially given whatever pain you might be dealing with. But always want to side on the error. You always want to be a little bit conservative when it comes to this. So, okay, got my last wrap. Got my last loop here, so I'm gonna pull it here. Boom. Now, once in this position, I can just chill here, right, and just let it do its thing. What this is going to do is, as I have it on, it's gonna compress all those tissues, which is beneficial, especially when I take it off. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually gonna do some exercises with this. So I'm actually gonna stand up here a little bit. I'm just gonna move around that knee joint. So I'm just gonna bend a little bit forward, over my toe, off to the side a little bit, towards that pinky toe, and towards that big toe, back a little bit, maybe flexing that quad a little bit. I just want to get a lot of knee movement here and just move around that joint as much as I can. Okay. Now, as far as how long you want to spend doing this, I think anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes is good enough, right? And again, you always want to side on the air of conservatism when you're doing this apparatus. So once we're here, okay, I moved around a little bit and I'm gonna let it go. Now, the benefit with this particular apparatus is that when you take it off, it expands the tissues that have been compressed. So we tightened it. Now when we let it go, we are now expanding everything. Boom. And now this joint is getting filled with blood. It's getting filled with synovial fluid. Just a lot of hydration coming back into those tissues that otherwise would have been offline. So this is the huge benefit, especially when it comes to the floss band. You can use this almost anywhere on your body. I've used this especially on my Achilles, so my calf, when I was dealing with Achilles pain and strain. So this is definitely one of the best tools that you can have in your toolbox, especially given that. So far, those are my best favorite exercises that I personally like to do on my recovery days. Again, the whole intention behind this whole video is that your recovery days doesn't have to be something that is passive. It's actually something active that you actively can do exercises in or move your body so that the recovery process can be a little bit faster and also a little bit more effective as well. And you also start to learn your body in ways that you wouldn't really know otherwise. So implement these tools and have it in your toolbox, and literally any kind of day or any situation where you're just kind of feeling a little bit stiff, maybe in the elbows, maybe the wrists, maybe in the knees, start to implement these kind of practices and see how you feel. You always want to make sure you're monitoring your body and giving it the love that it needs. So I hope these exercises do that for you, and I'll see you on the next one.